In the video you're about to watch, this one takes no credit for any of the concepts that were stated that I came to. All praise be to the goddess. All praise be to the God. All praise be to the Creator on high. All praise be to the light and the source of creation. For that is what I refer to as I. In the video, I don't articulate that very well, so I wanted to add this very brief intro. All praise be to that on high. All praise be to the goddess. Thank you. Namaste. Hello. Dean Moriarty here. On the channel New Dean Moriarty. This next video was recorded in my bathtub on April the 28th, 2021. I take a lot of baths. I take these baths because they get me clean. I like the smell. I add essential oils. I add frankincense. I add rose oil. I add jasmine. A little bit of tea tree for the scalp, you know. It's good for the scalp and the skin. Also can kill parasites and other vermin. We are currently still in the pandemic. But I wanted to make this intro for the video to let you know that this is a video about an epiphany that I had. I'm sweating in this bath. It's very warm. The water is probably 103 to 104 degrees. And it's a shamanic bath. I add salts. In this case, it was Himalayan sea salt, the pink kind. And I add bubble bath. This bubble bath was a combination of Hawaiian lava and coconut oil bubble baths, two different ones. Rather luxurious, don't you think? I don't buy a lot of food because I spend my money on bath supplies. I'm a water shaman. I'm also a forest shaman. I'll refer to myself as an alchemist. My shamanic path came first, and my ego wanted to put words to these things that I was experiencing, these energies, these actual experiences. I dumbed down experience through the use of words and language because I wanted to eventually convey it to you, specifically you. So started as a shaman, became a Taoist because the first page of the Tao Te Ching won me over. The Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. That's true. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. That's very true. We can't actually put this into words. Our egos don't like the fact that we are really not capable of understanding what it is. And this is, you'll figure out why I was named Dean Moriarty if you ever read On the Road. I did not choose this name, by the way. My given name by my parents was Dean, which in Welsh means man. That's all. But a coworker of mine gave me the Moriarty part because I'm always trying to describe what it is and finding it, and I'd rather experience it than talk about it any day. But I went through a few experiences in this life that solidified a shadow within my ego, within my pride state. That's what I consider the ego to be, our prideful state, at least in my case. The ego is a very useful tool. The mind, some will call it, the mind is a useful tool, but it should not captain the ship. On the helm of my Starship Enterprise, Jean-Luc Picard is captain. That is my higher self. Ego is not that extra dimensional being that comes in and fucks with them. For me, that's William Riker, number 2. Our defense officer, Worf. I do have one of those, but he's a gorilla inside my ship. He's similar to Worf, but He's more of a psionicist, 800-pound gorilla, genius. Doesn't just go straight fisticuff battle. He's a devastating prick. But he does a good job, for the most part. So, I keep him around. But he's not allowed to act without first speaking to the higher self. He's not allowed to act without first checking in with the divine masculine and the divine feminine. Must speak to Shiva, must speak to Isis. Together, they make Jean-Luc and me. This is my own personal, command deck. And why is it there? Because of number two. Number two needs a way to explain it. Number two needs a way to understand it. Jean-Luc doesn't need to understand what he's made of. That is the actor. He's a brilliant actor. I love that man. And Jonathan Frakes. I love that man, too. He's a great actor. Did a massively perfect job at describing, what it is to be that egoic driven, but not, he's vain, but he's a sensualist. He's beautiful, in my opinion. He's a great man. Great character. Not this full man. But yes. This next video is about an epiphany that I had in the bath. I am naked in the bath, and I'm not going to pan down, get it out of your mind, dirty people. I'm clean. A little bit of caffeine goes a long way. Don't drink too much. You can have some. We are in a society that values the alert, problem-solving state of mind. But too much of a good thing. It's too much. Really. But it is so tasty. Good, rich, dark roast coffee, a little bit of heavy cream. So unspiritualist of me to do. If I were to cease doing that, I may cease to manifest and turn into light. And at some point, that'll be the right thing for me to do. But it's not right now. I have way too much to teach. I have way too much to experience before that. But this is just the introduction for the video. An epiphany that I had regarding my deepest, darkest shadow that's been holding me back. And I've spent the last year and a month hunting it, pursuing it, stopping and resting because it was kicking my ass, because I couldn't find it. And all the while it was standing directly in front of me in the mirror, looking back. My underlying motivations for why I was doing what I was doing in life. It had fully integrated within my operating system. And that shadow had taken over the full ship. And that's okay. I forgive me for it it was a learning process. I am good enough because I don't have to prove myself to anyone, not even me. I am good enough. I am worthy, and I don't have to prove that to any other being, not even me. It's my right. The fact that I'm manifested in this physical form proves that right. And that goes for you, too. I love you. I hope you enjoy the video. I've been operating out of spite. I was hurt in my youth, and that hurt carried forward through my life. And I kept putting myself into situations guided by the hurt, wanting to prove that I was good enough, that I was worthy to someone who really, that's someone else. And so it really doesn't matter if to that person I'm good enough. The only one that matters is that I'm good enough to me. And I am good enough. And me is good enough to I. I'll explain more about the difference between me and I. I use me to refer to egoic state, physical state, the physical aspect, and the I referring to the divine side, the eternal. Regardless, semantics aside. This one has been operating out of spite. I studied geology because it was something my father couldn't do, and I wanted to prove to him I was better. I went into engineering and science because it was something my father couldn't do, and so I was showing him that I was better. I wanted to learn metallurgy because it's what his father did, and again, it was to show my father that I was better. And I wanted to prove it through my wife. She was beautiful, talented, interesting. And she rejected me, and she bit me because she was a snake, actually. And I kept ignoring all of the red flags because exterior-wise, she looked better. But interior-wise, she's a very flawed creature, and that's fine. That's her path that she's going through. Her demons are her demons, and I've been trying to resolve all of her demons because, again, I was doing it from the spite angle. If I can solve her problems, then I am the greatest of them all, and I'm better. And none of that matters at all. The truth that matters is that I follow my joy, that I'm allowed to feel joy for the sake of joy's sake, and that I can pursue the activities that fill my soul with happiness and laughter and light. And I would have to go off on retreats with hippies, burner hippies, hippie hippies, ecstatic dance hippies, and do it away from the public light. Allow myself to dance, the one thing that I didn't have to be taught how to do. And to do it just for my own happiness. And in a way, it also galvanized my need to earn my income from a way that proved me better than the others, that showed that I was worthy. Because dance, ecstatic dance, is not a way to get paid. And in a way, that was my shadow's way of showing me, or I, that I was only good enough if I showed the other people up. Validating. It was the shadow's aspect, the shadow's way of validating its other actions. And I've been struggling on what I can do to continue my life forward. I'm a being, not a doing. But I keep holding myself back. Well, what should I do? And when I came up with a joyful concept that was hilarious and amusing and fun to do, I shut it down once it had a glimpse that it could pay me. Because I couldn't get paid for my happiness somehow, some way in my mind, it was locked in there. And that's false. I can get paid for my happiness. I do not have to show my father that I'm better than him. I do not have to show my ex-wife that I don't need her and that I'm better than her. Those things don't matter. No one's better than anyone else. That is a truth that I spout out constantly to everyone. That why was I not utilizing that for myself? The sparrow outside on the tree is no important than me. It's no important than the President of the United States. It's no important than the Pope. It's no more important. Nothing is more important than anything else in this realm. All are equal. Please accept this and stop trying to Stratigraphy, oh God. Create strata amongst beings of what's greater and what's lesser. And if you do that, please realize that's in your mind. And if you have someone who agrees with you, or if you're agreeing with someone else's stratification, then you're giving your power to them. Stop doing that. Rise up. Rise up inside yourself and put your joy first, always. Shiva, please help me pick these weeds from my mind field, from the garden of my being, so my flowers can grow full, lush, and brightly within the sun of Ra's rays. Thank you for this grace of knowing. It was a tough shadow for me to observe. For every time I would try to shine the sun to find it, it would disappear and run. The fear. The fear. The fear of not being good enough. Because I was told when I was young that I was an ungrateful. I was told, and it was joking words, but they worked. They settled into me. I was told that I was a little retard, that I was learning disabled, and I believed them. And then I had to prove them wrong because I knew I was smarter than the people that were saying it to me. I could learn more than they could. I could synthesize thoughts faster and more eloquently than they could. And my knowledge base was broader than theirs. And yet I was the retard. So, the snakes that were in my garden that bit me have been cast out of my garden. The weeds that they were protecting are no longer protected. And Nataraja can clear this field so new fields can grow, so new plants can be planted within these fertile soils. The soils must be tilled under, the old growth abandoned, allowed to rot and give back to the earth its nutrient, so new can arise up from the old. That's the nature of this place. Finding these shadows within oneself is not an easy feat. Accepting them is even harder. I've been aware of it for a long time. It's been more than a year that I've been working solely on this one task of revealing the shadow and releasing it so I can actually find joy in my life and experience the joy in my life and be one with it. I find that the people I've been pursuing to add to my tapestry of life have been better replacements for the ones that were there. And the truth is, I don't need them. Because I don't need someone else to prove to someone else that I'm better or that I'm worthy even. It doesn't matter. I am worthy because I am. Tatvamasi. I am that. That thou art. Ways of saying it, but I am that. I am. Is a Judeo-Christian way to translate it. I am that I am. That thou art. Tatvamasi. And I don't have to prove myself to anyone, not even you who's watching this. But I do love you, and I do hope the best for you. Just because you find a few negative traits of yours and you find a way to eliminate them doesn't mean you've done shadow work. But you don't have to do what I've done. Take an entire year off from your career. Move away. Live with strangers and call them friends. Open your heart up to them. Be an empath like I am. Feel around through them. Find the positive traits and accentuate them only. You don't have to do that. There's other ways. The way you know is the way within you. I was lucky enough to have been able to have shown myself my own way and then follow it. I don't need to add people to the fabric and tapestry of this life to prove to any other part of my tapestry that I'm worthy. They're parts of my tapestry. They add the blood red and the deep blacks. Acidic yellows and greens. Not the life-born giving ones, but the toxics. That then draw the other, brighter, fuller, warmer colors forward. Because you need both. All lives have them. And my tapestry is creating the image of an elephant. The four monks can't decide what it is. It's leather. It's a tree. It's a hose. It's a rope. It's an elephant. And I'm riding its back. All the way to eternity. My war chariot, my war elephant. But we commit no acts of violence. Instead, we play the tabla and the sitar, and we sing of happiness, of joy. We laugh and we play. On top of this elephant I named Ganesha. On top of this elephant that I've named Hope. Never bank on hope. On this elephant that I've named Joy. That's a more true elephant. I don't need to add people to this tapestry to prove other parts of the tapestry wrong. I need to add elements to this tapestry that feel right in that time, and for no other reason than I enjoy them. Because I'm allowed to feel joy. I'm allowed to feel happiness. And I'm allowed to do what causes my soul to sing. So it is.